Fatalo fatu Samoa ilo mai wanga le nei tula le fiafi. Alo mai e se whakuponga fo ile nei o lau Samoa taulongolongo. La Samoa ati ata tau tala. O le aswan na fide sa tapuni aloa ia e se fonotanga mo tai mai Pasifika. Sa awai mai ile fonotanga mo awala fa te konolosi. E fa asoa ai fa amatalanga al Pasifika. Le fa na se kone mo sa report.
Malo o ulo matanga aluenga. E mai se fo ile fa moe o le nei fa la potonga tau. O fa wina nisi o lato fonotanga tau. Le ngata e samia ile lua se fulu tau sanga. O le fa la potonga e pui le saunga le mu, ma le file mu o le nei tulangi. Ai mai se fo o le nei fa moe ma toenga o le nei vai sa. Fa fitai lo nganga sa marutia. Sa tauto luaina fa moe nga ese. Wai ile
o le afia na nafi lea sa tapunia lo ia i lo le fonotanga taua. Sa fatau taia mo tai o malo le Pasifika. Lo nafa ma le puipuina ma le mata i tuina o vaenga tau le malo puipuia o tangata matu no. Masa ta ia le nei fa moe le susunga le faife autoe ina. Ia pale mia tau ili i se sauninga lotu. I se saunoanga autu o le sui komisi no leo ni usila. Sa ia fa iloa ilo na mitanga. Ono mawhaio na awai mai le nei fa singa taua ta i o vaenga. Lo nafa ma le puipui no le saunga le mua tangata watu no le Pasifika. O nei tele se taua le ne ngā luenga ma le au nanga. Mao se awa no fo iwa ia mawai ni si vaenga taua mo le anga i luma. O le ngā luenga o no mata upuna mawhaio na iloina le nei fa singa. Ai mai se le matau fo i tū maanga whaaloalo a Samoa. Sa sau no le awhionga le sui komisi no leo i Samoa nei. Papali i Mona Lisa tia i keti. I mamoli lana whaamalo i sui awai uma. Ona wa whaamai e ina ma le manuia le nei fonotanga. Sa ia whaelia fo i le tāua telo le nei polokalame. Le whaasoa ingo whaamamaunga mo le malu puipuia. O le nei tūlangi ai mai se o awala. O mawhaio na mawa mai ai me to tia ma mawhauwhaunga. E te e ai mawhawhau ai nisi o whaafi tauli. O loo haafi ai pele nei tūlangi. Samulia ili nei sauninga whaapitoa. Ile saunoanga autu ale komisino leo. La fionga ia awa pa au longo itino Filipo. Sa ia tala ile tāua le nei polokalame. Ai mai se whato ato e whaatino tanu mai le tausanga i lua fese fulu maleiva. O se taimi umi ai o le amanoa le nei. Sa mafu taio se whaasinga malosi. O mawai nisio a wala fau e toe mati ai le anga i luma. O le whaatino ino le au nanga. Ai mai se le nei feso ta inga whaal ngai nai a wala whaateke na losi. E we whaasoa ai whaamamaunga mawaenga. Mo le puipui o le nei tūlangi. Le whana nei se kone mo lau Samoa taunongonongo.
O le aswan nafi le asa taunu o manuia mai ai se tasio wa amerite leo le nei vai aso. O whaingoa ina o le Missionary Committee i le taulanga wa ia pia. O se atelinga le nei o le report. O le aswa nafi le asa taunu o manuia mai ai se tasio wa ameli mo le nei vai aso. O whaingoa ina o le Missionary Committee i le taulanga wa ia pia. O le taunu o mai o le nei wa ameli e tōrua i nei wa ameli la o pasese. O taunu o mai i lau whanua se tatu watunu. Talu o na tua talaina whemalanga inga ina masino au kuso o tausanga nei. E iwa i tūla sa taulai le nei wa ameli i le tala whatai o pia. A o le tu ua Samoa nei. O whaamanianga ia sa whaatalitali i aile au whaifale tūlisi whaatani malo i le tātou watunu. Sa whawhailoa i alo ia ele pūlenga o tangata sa whaumai mua mai whafo. Manisi o le mamalo le atunu ule taunu o manuia mai o le nei whainga malanga. Masa ia au maia se pase se e valu se lau rua sulu malwha. Malona au waa e tolu se lau wha sulu maletolu. O le pase se sa au maia le nei waa sa malanga mai. I le anuanoa ai o tangata mai atunu ese. E au fia ai tangata mai New Zealand, Australia, Kanata, Switzerland, Britania, Poland, ma Amerika. Sa amata ina mai le malanga le nei waa i Los Angeles. Uiane i Hawaii, whaasoloane i Falani. Ona awhia mai loa lea o Samoa nei. Ona tuatua lea o Samoa Mofiti, Solomona, Papua New Guinea, Australia, Indonesia, Malaysia, ma Singapore. O le tausanga lua fesuluiva, lea na pa uma ia le malanga ma le Missionary Committee i Samoa. Mai le company va ala o pasese ale Oceania Cruises i Miami, Amerika. O whamanianga uma nei va amore tupe maua tatu tangata nu. Ele ngata o le pasese sa malanga mai i lea va ai o niso whaataunga au va e mana o mia. Mai le makesi o ia ma le makesi funga lei. Manisi au nanga mo mia. O le meli la o pase se lea al rekera o lo au mai i Samoa nei e company va al Samoa Global Shipping Services i vai tele. Mo le au fai pisi ni se tu disi wharatani malo e tā pena msau ni fo i mo le tau nu mai o le isi va o le a tau nu mai i le masino te sema. Taptau le ketiona o le Samoa tau lungu. Sa sia ele asosi o e longo noa le mota fono al parlimene mo se udwa i taimi ma o se avanoa ta ue whaatupula ia e so lato malamlama anga i upu fai o le malo Samoa e fesoa tai mangaluenga e una ia malangolango inai a ia tatau a i lato e ia afianga tu mauretino o se atelenga le nei o le report. Sa sia le asosi o e longo noa le mota fono al parlimene mo se udwa i taimi ma o se avanoa ta ue whaatupula ia i lo lato malamalama i upu fai le malo o Samoa e fesosoani mangaluenga e una ia ai malangolango inai e ia tatau a i latou e ia afianga tu maure soifoa e tolos formalima sui awai le asosi mo e longo noa na mawhai o na asia le mota fono ale parlimene mo le urua i taimi i se fono tanga sa whaatino ina ale parlimene o le asia singa le asosi o se avanoa ta ue whaatupula i ailo latou malamalama i upu fai ale malo Samoa e fesoa tai mangaluenga e una ia malangolango inai a ia tatau ai latou e ia afianga tu maure soifua na mawaina fo i se avanoa e asia ai e sui o le asosi le mautafono ma whaalongolongo ai i fola sanga ma whaamatalanga me le official whailau tusel fono a whaitu la fono e winga i le whaangasolongo tawana manga whaapalimene a tono se tu tawa fo i lea i le awa i atu le asosi nei fono tanga ina ia sanga malamalama i fo i nei tu ai ngasi o si o manga fo o latou wasia mo se urua i taimi o le lao tawa o latou maua e mawhai ei o na suia ai fo i se si o manga fo i lewa ai e se mai i le tele whalabas patong ma fono tanga sa latou awa i mua ai o le perestene le asosi le sunga i a Melissa Leota sa fafongaina se whawhetai le funga whetalai e tai wala atu i le au whaingal wengal official whailau tusi o le fono a au whaitu la fono mo le tari e ina o sui le asosi mo le mauina le mauta fono ma wala ngona le whaatupura i o le mana malama ingal wenga whaapalemene ma isi mataha upi whesota iai o nei avanua e le au maua uma tangata ma whanapaspatonga uma peitai o le anganga o le fia sa fafongaina le tai le asosi ona le amana ia ina o le whaatanga ino i latou ona awai i nei whonatanga. Taptailo kitiona, walau Samoa taunulu. Mai niswa tatou tala. O se vainga foile nei inisio ngaruenga whaawau, ale to o manga mo e popua ngatia i te tono se tatou watunuu. Le whana nei se kone, mo se tatou report.
O ngā luenga whaawawa le tau manga mo e popo ngā tia, i tua inu o mafio anga i ana polo keti whaanga solo, lo whaatupeina le malo, o se awala wa mata i tuina le alualu i luma, tino u tau le leo nu o mafio anga, e whaatino awa e sele ai lava i la tau le manuia mo nai o la tau ainga, e mai sire tau tua i no afio anga. I se pepo whaamatalanga le tau manga sa whaani ai, le mawalungo le tūlanga wa iei le afio anga wa ia whai iwa sawai, le whaatino ino le la tau polo keti sa tawa au ina le tau manga mo wao manisio mea whai ngā luenga mo le wha mamaino le afio anga ai mei se le whaatino inai o ngā luenga mo afio anga tua oi e mawai se leni ma o le nei polo keti e tūsalo na tau ma le wha a feiva se lau iwa sifunu ma le fitu tāla i le masino au kuso. Na ua tai a sia le to manga le afio anga vai a whai iwa savai. Sava aia le alualu i lumo le whaatino ino le polo keti a le afio anga. Ma ua tūlanga mai se tūlanga le leima matango fie. Ma ua iai fo i le lato whaaputu ngā tupe e teo iai tupe maua. Sa whaanea le nganga whaafetai ma le fia tela le peristene a fionga sili niu lina jang. Ono le anga i pe lumo le whaatino ina o nei polo keti o lo whaatupeina le malo. Le whana nei se kone mo lau Samoa taunulungu.
O le awhaia sina tatou malolonga pupu o na tuetaliu mai lea moranga ngana wha Britania. We can have some short commercial break, then we'll be back.
E a afia mo fia Samoa I matangi maa whanga. O ia afia ngā, e a mata mai a November, e o atu ia a Perila. A o le io o ia vai tau, e te tau o ni fo sauni. Si akilo mota po maru puipuia. Fa mamale lotoa, mai mea e ono lea I matangi marolosi. Fa angatanga au o tau latalata le fale, ma waia ele tise. Fa mamala vai e faiti tia ia fianga, mai lo longa pe ati tele ti munga. Ta pena me tau mawhatu apa, a toa ai masele tio, ma maa mori wira, fuana au mo me ti ngā le tino, po le first aid. E whaasala lau e le ofisa o le wa ai tau, la pata inga le le tio, TV, ma le internet. Whao ngā lau papa plywood, po apa to fale, e pui pui ai whamalama. Awale tu I mawina, ai whaavanoa se ala savidi, e mawai se ea I te tonu o le fale. Taso se maia mai le tawarunga o le fale, no noa ma whaamau le lei, awale tu ua mea mamafa I lunga o le fale, o na e ono pa u, I matangi marolosi. Whaatutumu whangu ma ulo vai, ma whaapuna vai tau mafa. Te pē whangu kesi, ma mika e le tise. Ia no nofo le lei te tonu o fale, a whaiele o le lei ma ato o tono o fale, a ngā iloa I nofo anga maururunga, ma saunga le mu. O a whae ma fua mai ailo o longa, ma nisi whaafita auri, tau mamao mai vai tafe, a wana ngau papa, ma le ngatai fale. Po le saunga le mu o lo ainga, ta pena sauni ma nofo silafia, pui pui, ma whaatino lapata inga.
We have to talk about this. We both own a half share of the property. What are we going to do, Claire?
Getting dressed might be a start. You have no idea what it feels like trying to keep the place alive on your own.
In case you haven't noticed, we're all women here.
Pack up your things and get off the property. I'm the boss now. Let's go. Wait till she has to gallop. Come on.
Good evening and welcome back to another edition of your TV2 News for tonight. Leading our bulletin, the Pacific Transnational Crime Network Leaders Conference has come to an end with a closing ceremony yesterday evening. Leafana Sekone with more on this report.
The Pacific Transnational Crime Network Leaders Conference has come to an end with a closing ceremony held at the Thomasina Island Resort last evening. Closing evening's devotion was led by Reverend Elder Palemia Tawiliili.
About these things, Paul is telling us to always think about true things, the truth, not lies, while we do our work in every areas of life. We should always ponder and reflect on what is noble and dignified, not what is base and inhuman. We should always meditate on what is just and righteous, not what is wrong and distorted. When we work for a good cause, we should always focus on what is pure, not what is corrupt and immoral. We should always fix our thoughts on what is admirable and praiseworthy, not what is offensive. Actually, the apostle was urging the Christians in the Philippian community to attain the peace of God. And there's only one way to do that, to accept Christ through faith and submitting.
During the news, the Deputy Police Commissioner's remarks highlighted
holding the role of Deputy Commissioner Operations for New Zealand Police. New Zealand Police has about 14,000 staff, and I have responsibility for about 11,000 of those staff, including the 12 police districts, our investigation staff, and for this context, our international network, including our staff across the Pacific. I'm very honoured to be with you here today, and I'm very much looking forward to the next few days in beautiful Samoa with a chance to speak to more of you in person. I don't want to speak here for long, but just wanted to acknowledge and thank the Samoan government for their support of the Pacific Transnational Crime Network over these past 20 years and hosting the Pacific Transnational Crime and Coordination Centre since 2008. I know this is the first in-person meeting.
Deputy Commissioner Papali Monalisa Tia Iketi, during her remarks, acknowledged and congratulated each PTC and member and leader for a very successful conference. Papali also re-emphasized how this network has recognized the importance of information sharing, a network built to help tackle ongoing challenges on a national scale and most especially on a regional level. The Samoa Police Prisons and Corrections Services acknowledges the ongoing work all Pacific Transnational Crime Network members and counterparts has done thus far. Efforts to enhance our ongoing vision, our Blue Pacific, safer together. And it is with vigilance and determination can we as a network achieve anything, working together for a safer Pacific. To conclude, the official remarks for the night was led by Police Commissioner Awapa Aulowo Itino Filippo.
PTCN. I was told that the discussion to form up this PTCN network was done here in Samoa in 2001 when they hosted the 30th BACP conference. So it was the discussion here back then, but reality was done when the BACP conference was moved to Cook Islands the following year, which is 2002. So it was here in Samoa that we actually discussed the setting up of this network. And we are very fortunate and proud of this fact. And I've seen the mutual benefits of the PTCCC being here and being co-located with the Samoa TCU. As PTCN Chair, I'm honored to be here and proud of the achievements of the PTCN to date. The PTCN is a strong and trusted.
To wrap up the night's official closing was the cutting of the cake for the 20th anniversary. Leafana Naisekone for your TV2 News.
The large cruise ship Mrs. Oceana Ricarda landed yesterday at Matautu Apia port and brings the total number of 824 passengers in our country. Here's more on this report. The last cruise ship Ricarda landed yesterday at Matautu Apia port and brings the total number of 824 passengers in our country. Samoa's borders were closed during the COVID-19 pandemic, and the reopening is a huge boost for the tourism and local businesses. Both vessels visited Samoa for the first time, as Mrs. Ricarda was welcomed yesterday in our beautiful country. Mrs. Ricarda brings 824 and 343 crew to the ports of Apia. Its current cruise is expected to end in Fiji, Solomon Island, Papua New Guinea, Australia, Indonesia, Malaysia and Singapore. The visit was the third cruise ship course following the reopening of borders on August 1st and the lifting of COVID-19 entry requirements on September 22nd. The Samoa Tourism Authority, in partnership with the Samoa Ports Authority, Bitham Brothers Enterprises, has planned a special welcome with traditional entertainments to celebrate the return of Mrs. Ricarda in our country. The arriving of these cruise ships in our country is very important for our local people's economy, also the economy of Samoa, the economy of business owners, small businesses, taxi drivers and buses, and hotels and restaurants will gain more from tourists. The cruise liners remain an important part of Samoa's tourism industry. Pre-COVID-19 figures show that on average, Samoa was receiving about 1,500 tourists per month through the cruise industry. Samoa is also a big attraction for tourists, with its beaches and rivers and other tourist activities not far from the port. Taulogologo for your TV2 News. The Samoa Youth Association visited the Taulogologo for the first time, and it was an opportunity for the association to develop a greater understanding of Samoa's political sphere. Here's more on this report. The Samoa Youth Association visited the Taulogologo for the first time, and it was an important opportunity for the association to develop a greater understanding of Samoa's political sphere. There were 35 representatives from the Youth Association of Samoa had the chance to visit with the Taulogologo for the first time, and was an opportunity to develop a greater understanding of Samoa's political sphere in relation to the current efforts being made to advocate for the rights of persons with disabilities. The representatives were given a tour of the Taulogologo and were treated to an informative presentation by the Office of the Clerk of Legislative Assembly highlighting parliamentary processes and procedures. The President of the Youth Association, Mrs. Melissa Leota, thanked the Speaker through the Parliament staff for allowing the members of the association to visit the Taulogologo, and added that the representatives felt privileged to have had the rare opportunity to visit their parliaments, as it has enabled them to contextualize a clear understanding regarding parliament's procedures and other related information. Taulogologo for your TV2 News. In other news, let's have a look at some of the ongoing programs by the Samoa Victim Support in our community. Leafana Sekone with more on this report.
The untitled men of Waiawhai Iwa in Sava'i are starting to reap the financial and social rewards of the livelihood program they are engaged in as part of the government's financing assistance channeled to the Samoa Victim Support Group to roll out activities to eliminate violence against women and girls, targeting the men and young boys groups. The economic empowerment of untitled men and unemployed youths is a preventative approach to violence through poverty alleviation. In August this year, the Samoa Victim Support Group President presented to the untitled men of Waiawhai tools and equipment valued at $4,999 to enable them to carry out cleanup work around their village as well as the neighboring villages for a small fee. 3 months later, an SVSG visited Waiawhai last week. The untitled men were hard at work, cleaning and earning themselves an income from their livelihood activities. According to the leader of the Waiawhai Aumanga, the untitled men are so excited with the project. The members looked forward to doing cleanup work, knowing that they will be paid for it. Most importantly, the untitled men now has a bank account to draw from when they serve during the village council meetings, reducing the financial distress while carrying out their tau tour or service to the village leaders. The SVSG President, Sidini Lina Jang, commended the untitled men of Waiawhai Iwa for achieving such notable outcomes during such a short time since the tools and equipment were handed over for use. Lefana Naisikone for your TV2 News.
And that is the conclusion of your TV2 News for tonight. Special acknowledgements to the Samoa Water Authority for supporting your TV2 News. Malifai unga le na lau Samoa Taulogologo le nei tula le fiafi. Whawhetaiel pūlenga suawai, walangango ina o lau Samoa Taulogologo. Manuia whaasausaunga le fiafi, whaasoifu.
Tama, e iei se meo whale tonu lau pili.
Aia, o ke lea leo mako pili masinga nge.
E ono mafua ona iei ni liki tu tonu lo whanua.
Ea?
E mawhai ona siaki whanga aina lea lau mita.
Whape whenga mea?
Ta pe umahutu paipa, siaki lau mita suawai, ai a whai o ta avili pea, o lo na winga o lo iei ni liki, o liki masani au fia ai, Fale le ta ua o le anga tane ma olo alu pea le suawai. Mutu paipai singa pe ata pe. Malaina paipai papa i tutono whanua. A mai ona fale leia ia vaenga, o te tau ona tū le whae loilo le mita pe ata pe. E mawhai ona talasanga i le pūlenga, mo le loilo inga o lau pili o le suawai. Pe a whai o mai ona fale leia vaenga o lo liki. A sefe lau vai?
Sefe foi lau tukte.
I'm feeling lucky in every round. Ole se ona tau mawhai le suka, e mawhai ona awhia i au tōtunga. Whaatele i nā i le awanoa, e mawai o e le maifatu. Mai suka vaenga lua, ma le kanisa. E whautu o ina, i alalo i fōru luas pinti suka i le asu. O vai inu soa malie, o se tasi leo awala e whaingofi, ona tātou tau mawhai suka. E whai titia nei loa le inga vai soa malie.
E pēs dale vai.
O le nau ta inga le whaalaputonga malo si wha eletise. Ia tu ina atu le au ngai mauta malawa e wha atua ina. Mga whatau li maina le atunu i taimi uma. O le smart meter le awhiso soani i lea manu lau ti. Mo le mata i tuino le letise i lo mauta. Ma sefe e fo i lau se le ni e wha aluina i lau pili e letise. O wha ailo ilo la ne i lungo lau mita. O le numero le mita e lalo ane o le wha ata wha ailo ilo. SyncNet o le fsota inga whaono pone o le smart meter. Kilowati o unite o whaonga ina e lo mauta, talu o na whaapipi i lau mita. Ma le whaelo ilo o lau pāleni i le unite e peio ni masini ai. E tu ina te fo i whi au tustusi e lau telefoni whi au lea i pe ai titi lau pāleni. Po o le motu si o lau eletise pe a whai ua le aise pāleni o lau mita. Whaapsota i mai le numero ono 55 o po o le ono 55 tasi wha, mo nisi wha amtalanga. Whaalapaptonga malo si wha eletise, mo le atunuu.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight on the latest from 7 News, breaking news, more of our military might to go to Ukraine, mechanical support and training. Revealed records of every Medibank customer stolen by hackers. When will that end? Police draw their guns under a suburban supermarket, a knife-wielding man shot. And an Australian human rights activist kicked out of Qatar after protesting the World Cup host.
The latest from 7 News with Michael Usher.
I want to start the show with some breaking news. We're giving a major leg up to Ukrainian forces fighting the Russian invasion. An extra 30 of our Bushmasters are going to those battlefields, taking the total gifted to 90. A contingent of up to 70 Defence Force personnel are being deployed to the UK next year to join a global effort training Kyiv's forces. Now, our troops, they're not going into Ukraine. It takes the total of Australia's support up to $655 million. Every time we bring you an update on the Medibank breach, we hope it's the last of it. Regrettably, it just worsens. Tonight, the personal details of all of the health insurer's 3.9 million customers in the hands of hackers. We're learning a significant amount of health claims data was compromised. Information accessed includes names, addresses, policy numbers, but worryingly, diagnoses and procedures. For more, let's go to Professor Matt Warren, the Director of the RMIT University Centre for Cybersecurity. Professor, thanks for joining the latest tonight.
Hi.
A lot of very personal information about millions of us. The health insurer today revealed it didn't have insurance, ironically, for this kind of attack, just too prohibitive in terms of cost. So it's likely going to cost them a lot of money and reputational damage. But what is happening here? Is it a sign that companies aren't taking cybersecurity seriously enough, or are the hackers just getting incredibly smart?
And there's three main aspects, one of which is organizations don't have the situational awareness to understand the complexity of the systems that they're managing. So that complexity is becoming a problem. The other issue is the investment in cybersecurity is whether organizations are putting profits before their cybersecurity investment. And the third key area is cybercrime has now become, a business initiative for cyber criminals. It's a very effective business model with a low chance of, being found and prosecuted.
But shouldn't these companies be aware of the complexity of the data that they're in possession of? This is our most private information. There should be nothing more precious.
Exactly. You can't think of a worse situation. The problem is one cyber incident, one cyber attack, if it can gain access to all of this data, is all you need. So we may not necessarily be talking about, hundreds of attacks. It just could be one attack, and that one attack was, successful enough to get the 200 gigabytes of data.
You see, the trouble is here, all these companies are shop front. They're all about the front and the impression, but they've left the back door wide open.
Well, this is why the government is now taking the situation so seriously. This is why the government's looking to amend the Privacy Act. They're looking to regulate companies much more effectively in terms of critical systems around cybersecurity.